Hi, Quizlet is a wonderful tool that I use for my music classes. If you want to borrow from other teachers, you have to pay for Quizlet, but if you make your own Quizlets, which is very easy, it's free. Students can gain access to my Quizlet. I have a list of my student usernames so that I can follow them as they are using it. I can see who's been to a class and what they've done there. It's a great way to do quick assessments as well as reinforce a lesson. Teaching note reading is very important in my program, since my students come from many different elementary schools and we have no specific music curriculum. I never know at what level my students will come to me in middle school. I have to assume that students don't know how to read notes or rhythms, and it's my job to teach them. I start with the very basics of note reading and rhythms. My goal is to have students be fluent. I have found that not being able to read music or understand rhythms is one of the biggest stumbling blocks to teaching an instrument and learning how to play that instrument. My intended audience is my students. They will be able to access this either in class or at home, on a school bus, in a car, really any place that they are. This will reinforce our classwork so that students will be able to read music and rhythms and will be able to focus more on actually playing their instrument. Using Quizlet will allow my students to determine when and where they use Quizlet and be able to set their own educational goals with it. They can work at their own pace, manage their learning, and assess their progress. ISTE T2B. I am sharing relevant knowledge with my students using a digital format, ISTE T3C. Now I'd like to show you how Quizlet works. So I created a free account and I'm going to log in and I'm going to show you how I do this. Okay, here I am. I've logged in and here is my free account. So I'm going to create a Quizlet, and you have folders and you have classes. So folders are your more general things, and then classes go within the folders. So I have a rhythm folder, and I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to add create a new set. Okay, so I'm going to call my set title Rhythm, and I'm going to put in my terms that I want my students to know. So the first thing I want them to know is a whole note, and I'm going to give the definition, and I'm going to use a picture for this. So it comes up with some nice pictures for me. I'm going to just pick one, and good, I've got it. So I'm just going to tell this that it's English. Good. So my next term that I want them to know is a half note. I'm going to pick a picture again. Here's my half note. See how easy this is? I'm going to have a quarter note next, and I'm going to have a quarter note. There's my quarter note, and let's do some eighth notes. We'll just do 1/8 note. Okay, so I have some eighth notes. Oh, let's make this a little trickier and give them eighth notes. Let's see what they can do with that. And we'll pick some eighth notes. Okay, great. So I'm going to create my set. And there it is. And I'm going to add it to a class because I made it in a folder. So I'm going to add it to my 6th grade violins. So it's in there. Good. See how easy that is? Now, the first thing that the kids can do now is they can do some flashcards. And they just click it to flip so they can study. So they've seen my do the flashcards. Then they can learn the notes. Then they just have to write the answer. And I got it right. So the next thing after that is we have a speller. You just type what you hear.
Eighth notes.
So then I have to type eighth notes. These are just many different ways to reinforce the learning. You're getting the oral, you're getting the sight, you're getting to take a test. We have written questions where they have to answer. Let's see how I'm going to do on my test. Oh, I have multiple choice questions. That's a half note. I have some eighth notes. True or false? That's an eighth note. I'm going to have to say false because there's more than one. Let's see how I did. Great, I got an A+, I got 100%. And you can change up how you want to do your test. I'm going to play a game called Scatter, and I have to make everything disappear. So I have to match, and I'm getting timed. And I want to do this as fast as I can because other kids in the class may be doing it at the same time, and they may be doing it faster than I am. Great, I did 12.6 seconds. Here I have a game called Gravity, which is really cool, especially for the boys in the class. They love to play this. I'll make this hard, and here we go. To watch out for those red asteroids. So I just have to type what I see on the asteroid. Oh, those look like my eighth notes. Okay, and the next one coming down is a quarter note and an eighth note. Oh, that's a whole note. Better get it. Eighth note. Eighth notes. Half note. Eighth note. Wow, I did it. I can get up to the next level. Well, I just wanted you to see how Quizlet works, how you can make a study set, and the different things that your students can do with it. So you can have as many different classes as you want, you can have as many different folders as you want, and this is just really a cool thing for your students to do. They love to play it. They can play it at home, they can play it in their car, they can play it on the school bus home, and whenever they want, they can just do it on their phone, or they can do it on an iPad. And it's really fun and it's really easy, and the kids like it. I hope you enjoyed this.